Good morning and welcome. This is the fourth lesson of our first series for this year, 2022-23. I'm Cynthia Holden, and this is Eurythmy as a Personal Practice. And in this series, as you know, we're doing the fundamentals of a personal eurythmy practice with emphasis on the soul exercises, which, as Rudolf Steiner said when he taught these in the Therapeutic Eurythmy course, he said that these exercises make the etheric body into a regular patron of good health. I find that a rather endearing characterization, but we find these, in fact, especially wonderful exercises for a personal practice. I have been doing quite a few of these personal exercises with you in this series, but there are three primary ones. So let me review with you as we start which of the exercises we have done were the ones that belong to the patron of good health exercises. These are the rhythmic A exercise, the foot exercise, yes, no, the jumping A, this one, which is called the nimbleness A, and then reverence and love A. And we're going to do a couple more of them today, and we're going to work on the third axis of healing and strength for us. So let me continue and explain a little bit of what we have. The three primary soul exercises are reverence, love A, and hope U, work on three different systems in our body. The reverence works on the nerve sense system primarily. Love A works on the rhythmic system, and hope U, which is the one we're going to do today, works on the metabolism. And so, in general, these exercises are used for people who are working on a particular constitutional goal, difficulty. If they are too nervy, then as a therapeutic eurythmist, I will focus with them on the reverence. If they're having issues with the health of their heart and their breath, we'll work on love A. That includes blood pressure, just stress in the chest. But if they have a weak metabolism and need to order that, we'll work on the hope U. However, it's also possible to work on all three of them in a somewhat modified form, meaning not quite as many repetitions of the different exercises. As Rudolf Steiner taught these exercises, he emphasized that it's important to do them regularly, that is, every day, and with several repetitions for each one. So when we're working with the reverence, love A, and hope U, normally I ask people to do 10 repetitions every single day. If you're going to practice all three of them as your work for perhaps the next 7 weeks, which is a wonderful length of time, it's still very good to do them every day. But if you're doing all three of them, you don't need to do 10 repetitions, but I would in fact go for at least 7. And there are times of the day that are better for the soul exercises. So the one that works with the deep metabolism, in general, is more appropriate for a morning exercise to help one get into the body. And the reverence, in general, is more helpful for helping to fall asleep at night, so an evening exercise. And the love A doesn't actually resonate with any preference for morning or evening. That could be done at any time. The others could also be done at any time, but they have a certain resonance with those other times of day. The other exercises, the jumping A, the foot exercise, yes and no, and the rhythmic R can be done also at any time of the day. And in teaching these to you thus far, I've been doing a little work pairing those exercises with the three important reverence, love A, and hope U. And so in the last 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, I've been working with the rhythmic R while we've been working on the process of the love A, because the rhythmic R really strengthens the middle system, the rhythmic system. Today, as I said, we're going to focus on the hope U exercise, strengthening the metabolism. And today, we won't work with the rhythmic R, nor with the yes, no, nor with the jumping A. We're going to do a different foot exercise called Sympathy and Antipathy, and pair that with the hope U exercise. So please prepare yourself for a little different journey through the exercises today. And next week, the final lesson of this series, we're going to go through each of these different exercises in a way that shows the little bundle of exercises that will belong together. And that will be a summary course next week. So please take your place in your room. As always, we begin by tuning ourselves in space. And with a little reflection, you'll notice that this has everything to do with the 3 soul exercises, because we are aligning ourselves with the vertical axis, which has to do with hope U. We're aligning ourselves with the horizontal axis, which has to do with love A. And we're aligning ourselves with front and back, which has to do with reverence. So as you take your place, align yourself in space. You feel stars above, weight below. You feel the widths of the world, this line that goes through your rhythmic system. And then there's this sacred, invisible axis between the front space, the world of the senses, and the space behind you. And your feeling heart, where your spirit self is watching and observing the whole world, that's in your heart. You are light, and your movements are etheric sensations in your whole being. So now we'll move this cross and we go down into the realm of gravity, working the vertical axis, and we go up towards the light. And then we come back, letting your arms drop weightlessly so you can hold them here, no effort. We hold the balance in this love A realm, the heart realm. And then the next movement, we go forwards enthusiastically into the world of the senses and backwards with wonder, feeling the world of the spirit. And then we bring all these together. I feel my hands coming in. I also feel front, back, contracting into my heart and up, down. And I let my sensation feed the heart as the center. And I unfold into space again. I go down into gravity from where the body is built, up into lightness from where the spirit comes, and back to hold the balance in the middle, in the widths of the world. The world of the senses pulls us forward, becoming aware of the back door of the heart, The world of the spirit and mystery releases us. And now from all 6 directions, we feel all of this is imprinted in the heart, builds my experiences on the earth. And now this last time, the 3rd time, I extend my arms and I feel, may peace be below me. May peace be above me, and may peace be all around me. May peace be before me. May peace be behind me. And may peace be within me. Affirm the sacred center of your heart. And then as you drop your arms, feel yourself in space. In a moment, we'll do the angel wings. But first, let's insert a small practice for walking forwards and backwards with the emphasis on feeling the different surfaces of your body as you go forwards, as you go back, and feeling your feet really talking to the earth as you walk. Simply 4 steps forward. Thank you, earth, that I can walk. Before you go back, feel you have eyes in the back of your heart, and the earth carries you. You notice how your gaze has to extend wide forwards. Don't look at anything in particular. Keep your eyes open. But instead of looking through your eyes, you have a million eyes all over your body. We think of, as we walk, we think of the seraphim who have always been drawn with a body covered with eyes like peacock feathers. We have something like that. Your feet have eyes, your knees have eyes, your chest, your legs. You can feel the space. Let's stay here. And in preparation for the exercise with the angel wings, I'd like you to lift your arms lightly. Remind yourself that we're doing this practice of learning how to move in the etheric space. No effort. We don't have to work against gravity. Our arms are lifted into the heights, very little muscle tension. And as we let them fall, they fall weightlessly because the etheric world holds them up. And now we'll go a little further and formalize that with the angel wing exercise that we've worked on. Cross your hands up here above your head. Your arms like great angel or bird wings. Extend them to the side. Imagine all those eyes on your feathers. You've got eyes in your wings as well. Now you feel your back very strongly. And you lift your wings. And I think of how the bird's wings unfurl as they move. And down again. And up. Please notice the eyes should be open, but you're not looking at anything. And as little as possible at me. You have an unfocused gaze because all these other peacock eyes are looking at the space around you. Good. Now remind yourself, I will drop my arms for a moment to talk. Remind yourself how we've been practicing the counter movement that the imagined angel does as you do your angel wing movement. So as your arms are moving downwards, the angel wings are moving upwards. And this really supports a much fuller perception of your backspace. So let's all begin with the arms up, but imagine these two wings down here of your angel self doing the counter movement to yours. Now you unfold your wings, feel the backspace, feel your angel has wings also extended right out here. As you drop your hands, the angel is complementing that with arms above the head. And now you raise your arms as the angelic wings sink. You meet here and continue. Once again, and as I told you, if we were in live space together, I would have you lined up 2 by 2, back to back, and you would be challenged to feel the etheric counter movement behind you. It's a wonderful thing to sense what's happening behind you etherically. Okay, your arms are down. As you lift your arms, take 3 or 4 steps forward. As you lift your arms, you're leaving the angelic wings behind you, low. As you go backwards and lower your arms, the angelic wings welcome you above their head. And again, what's happening behind you? And what are we doing here in Eurythmy? We always can be in touch with what's happening behind us and all around us. And one more time forward. What's happening around you? What's happening on the sides of you? One more time backwards. Your feeling should be large, connected to the room. Now, lift your arms. And let's metamorphose this into contraction, expansion. Bring your hands to your heart. And from your heart, open wide. And from all directions, from your physical arms, but also from the imagined arms, come to your heart and unfold, not just through your arms, but the whole sphere of space around you opens. Increasingly, we develop a feeling for the entirety of space, the size of our aura. And within my heart shines the light of the sun. Within my soul weaves the warmth of the world. I will breathe the light of the sun. I will feel the warmth of the world. Light of the sun pour into me. Warmth of the world. Flow through me. Thank you. Thank you. All right. We're going to move towards the foot exercise that belongs to this series of exercises. But in preparation, I want to teach you the sound M. Now walk closer to the cameras so we can work on this in closer space. Please say the sound and if you know the eurythmy gesture, you'll know where we're going with this, how to do this. If you don't know it, try to imagine. What does M evoke in you? M. Once again. M. You notice to do a good M, you have to stay with the tension you create until you've run out of breath or until you decide to terminate it. So it's actually quite intimate. I'll show you the initial M. I'll teach you like this. And I want you to see how that corresponds to the movement that you just made with your mouth. And now I'd like to teach it to you very carefully. I want you to start by putting your hand under your elbow. Holding your hand in place, I'd like you to slowly lower it like this, feeling yourself moving through space. Hold it with the same intensity that you use when you spoke it. Turn your hand, lift it back up. I want to do this because I find sometimes it's hard for people to really feel the intimate texture of this M. What I want you to feel is the surface of your forearm primarily. This is the part of the body that really expresses the M the best. Because in eurythmy, the forearm corresponds to the lips, which we engage so much when we do the M. Again, feeling the forearm pushing through space. Now, we do use more of the arm, so put your arm or your hand right up there underneath the armpit. Start with your arm like this and do the same thing, unfolding the arm, but you can go a little bit further. This is a bit of a support so that you don't let the arm sink, but you keep it in levity. Again, really working on that lower arm primarily. And don't overstretch the arm. That's another reason you're holding it back in the armpit. Don't overreach, just roll it right down to here and back again. The important thing is to focus on this really concentrated, delicate space that you're moving through. All right, we'll rest with that arm and try it with the other arm. Hold it in place so you don't overstretch. Focus on the lower arm and the part of the arm that belongs to the lips. And turn it back up. Some of you have done some work with me or with other eurythmists on this. Some of you remember that the M sound corresponds to the zodiacal sound of Aquarius. This is the sound that belongs to the angelic realm, even as all consonants belong to different zodiac signs. Okay, put your arm up here. Remember, you want to keep your arm back here so you don't rotate the body. There we go. And inwardly, you feel that your body is speaking M, so you don't do it with your arms. M. Good. What we've been doing with this is really trying to feel the intensity of the body feeling space. And you can see this is not quite weightlessness that we have in the angel wings. Rather than just moving weightlessly, we're pressing into the space. We're making it etherically kind of buzz around ourselves. And again, and you will not speak it. I'll speak the sound the way you should be hearing it in yourself, in your inner voice, but you won't be speaking it as you do it. But this is what you'll hear. And each one of these is an out breath. Breath is done. Inhale and inhale and all right. Now we want to take that M energy through other parts of our body. So let's try getting the same intensity using the whole arm. Let me show you what we're not doing. We're not simply moving lightly, which we do with contraction or with the bell exercise, for instance, moving etherically through space. No, we're pressing through it as if we have a little bit of watery like liquid resistance. I keep my shoulders down, back, and see if, while you're doing this, you can feel as you compress space towards your abdomen, move through your abdomen etherically and behind yourself. Gather up some etheric forces, come towards your abdomen and your back, press through it and move forwards. This is something that we use to, or already here, we use this to help people to get into the lower body. Can be good for digestive weaknesses. It can be good if you're cold in the abdomen. Can also be good for supporting or releasing cramps in the lumbar area of your back. Rest. And as I said, this is all in preparation for the next foot exercise. But our next step, getting closer to that, will be to feel M through the leg. So instead of speaking with your arms, we'll speak with the legs. But the dominant part of it is the lower leg, the shin, which relates to the forearm. So with one foot, push through the space with the same kind of energy. Can you do that? With the other foot, starting with the shin, pushing, feeling M. We'll take one more with each foot. And if I'm with a patient, sometimes I will gently put my foot on the shin bone just so they have the appropriate amount of resistance. All right, now we'll go back and have that same kind of resistance on the calf. And you see, this is not quite the same as threefold walking because we're engaging a different kind of quality here. Long and slow. Take a little survey of your body. You might feel a little bit warmer, but rather intensively in all the surfaces of your body now. Now I'm ready to show you the sympathy antipathy exercise, which is kind of a partner to the yes-no exercise that we were doing, which is somewhat airy. This one is slow and intense. We do it only by moving the right foot. The left foot gains a different strength by staying firmly in place. So you need to have a different power in this leg and bring expressivity into the right leg. Imagine warm water in front of you that you're going to move into. Put your foot perhaps in a tub of warm water. And with the feeling of the M, slowly move your right foot forward. Touch the ground only with your toes. And now move backwards. But back here, there's cold water. And so it's kind of bracing. Doesn't let you relax. It feels more a little bit shocking. And if you like to, you can rest here. With this, we have sympathy and antipathy, or connection and retreat. So with this, we have sympathy. And with this, imagine all of your arterial blood just flooding through the abdominal regions and into your lower body. Now with antipathy, you retreat. You can imagine that. You pull back out of it. And actually, you strengthen your head forces, but you withdraw from this warmth metabolic system. And then you connect again. Sympathy. And antipathy, cold, bracing. And you're welcome to put your weight on both feet in between, because the left foot will be impacted with all of this. Again, sympathy. And then antipathy. Feet together if you like. And sympathy. You open up your body. This is for strengthening the metabolism, warming it. And antipathy. And rest. Sympathy. Antipathy. And rest. I'm going to turn sideways for you now. Again. Sympathy. And you see, to a small extent, I'm a concave curve, just a little bit. And antipathy. A little bit convex. It's not exaggerated. I don't throw my neck up, but I feel my back space a little bit curved. And rest. Sympathy. And rest. All right. Thank you. We'll move on now to the Hope Ooh exercise that I want to do. All of these M's that we did in the beginning were not inherently a part of the sympathy antipathy exercise, but they are an introduction to teach you how to feel your body, to warm it through, to permeate and penetrate it in every way possible. And so some of you will really want to do this exercise in as many ways as you can. It actually looks a little bit like Tai Chi, doesn't it? Qigong, because you're really moving the etheric spaces around you. You might not all need that one, but I taught it slowly so that you understand how to warm yourself etherically. Now we're going to do the Hope Ooh exercise, which was given to warm ourselves through the metabolism, deepen the breathing into the metabolism. So we need to start by learning the sound ooh. Thus far, we learned the vowel ah, open-hearted receptivity, wonder, joyful receptivity. A, firm and clear boundaries. And now ooh, The sound ooh, if you hear it, it's solemn and dark. Ooh. When I speak it, I contract my mouth on the sides, actually. Right and left become parallel. First, my lips a little bit. Ooh. In the body, the ooh expresses our parallel shape. And so we experience it most strongly in the parallel bones of the thighs, of the legs, parallel bones of the arms. So I'd like you to begin your ooh experience by drawing your hands together. Feel them, your arms parallel. Feel that echoed in your feet. Ooh. And we can try moving them. Keep your arms parallel as you raise them. Keep them in connection. And you feel yourself in a tube. You feel this connected all the way from your head, your fingertips, to your feet. And down again. It's a terrifically grounded experience. And we do this ooh intensively with people who have a hard time grounding. We come deeply into our bony skeleton, deeply into the bones with the hope, ooh. And it sounds like this. Ooh. Ooh. And now we sometimes focus it just on the legs, and that has a wonderful support for the hips. Again, for people who have a hard time standing, sometimes they have difficulties lining up their hip bones, and sometimes they have a problem with flat feet, or the feet are like this, or the feet flop while they're walking. The ooh really structures the parallelity of the legs. So feet together here. Ooh, squeeze them. All right, take a step. Right foot, left foot. So you bring your left foot in, place it deliberately into ooh. Left foot, right foot. Ooh. Feel yourself completely poured into your body. Right foot, left foot. Ooh. You don't have to speak it. I'm speaking it for you to intensify the tone experience. Ooh. Backwards, right foot, left foot, solemn. Ooh. Left foot, right foot. Draw your foot in, put yourself in this form, in this mold. Ooh. Right foot, left foot. Ooh. Left foot, right foot. Ooh. Thank you. And sometimes we intensify this by being in this really tight form and going up on the toes. Let's do that 3 times. See how that works for you. You can do this at home if you like. We go up on the toes, keeping the ankles together. Lots of power in the legs, and down again. Ooh. Remember, this is to help you stand so that you could deliver a speech like this. If you had to, in any situation where you need to be really upright, grounded. Ooh. Let yourself down slowly. Ooh. And again. Ooh. Ooh. could reflect on how that feels in your body. This is under the rulership of the planet Saturn, Chronos, the old grandfather time. You can feel how solemn it is. Now we can intensify the arm movements by putting the hands together and try lifting them. The parallelity has been squeezed so tightly that you're actually touching hand to hand. And down again. But I'm intensely strong in my legs while I do this as well, drawing them as tightly as I can together. One more time. I hope you can feel how your posture is aligning with this. As I said, this can really help if you have a tendency to have your hips out. This really orders that. All right, and now in the exercise we're going to do in a moment, we intensify it even stronger by not taking the hands down like this, but putting the backs of the hands together and feeling the ooh between the fingertips. We go down, and now you'll find that the entire hands can be together as you sink them down through. This is the most intense ooh that we have. Ooh, yes, this is not quite parallel anymore, but we're feeling this parallelity. Okay, got the squeeze. All right. After this warm up with the ooh experience, we'll go into the hope ooh exercise now. The hope ooh works, as I said, in preparation with the vertical axis from above, below. In contrast, for instance, to the ah reverence, which is front back, the love A, which is outside, inside. This is up and down. Warming the metabolism. So perhaps if you think of someone who has a cold stomach or just can't move things through here from the liver on down through the intestines, they need to penetrate themselves. Our goal in life has to be in our body and not alienated from it which would give us poor digestion and many other problems. I think we can all imagine couch potatoes, for instance, people who are just bored in their lives and never stand up and take their place. Where would the ego land? Where would the self be in the body? So with this hope, ooh, we're really learning to be present, ready for life. All right, our story here, our gesture, our inspiration is that we begin with hope. And with the hope, we make a chalice of ourselves. We want to find our spirit self that we're going to pour into the body. So we put the arms out like this as a chalice, hold them low for a moment while imagining yourself hoping for the strength to do your deeds on the earth. Lean backwards slightly as you do it, not dramatically. Put your weight on your heels. Don't bend at the waist. Just lean slightly back. Feel hope. I hope for health and goodness and strength. Now lift your arms and feel that what you have hoped for is now contained in your arms. And you're going to take that and pour it with this intense ooh into yourself, through your crown, through your throat, through your heart. If you choose to, you can think of chakras, but I don't exactly think of that. I just think of a tunnel or a channel of golden, warm, honey-like exercise or energy flooding my being. And again, I lean back, searching prayerfully, and then lift And incarnate. Release. Again, you don't say it, but you feel it intensively. Oh. Make a vessel of yourself. You hold it there for 1, 2, 3 seconds. Oh. Until you actually have an image. Your arms must not be empty when you go up. They must be etherically full. Take that golden light and pour it through yourself. Now you feel that. You feel you've been intensified right through your parallel legs, right into your feet. Release. We're doing it 10 times. And again. Oh. And lift. Your feet are standing solidly on the ground. Hope, feel your back space. Pray for help to do more than you have done until now. Pray for life-giving support. Pray for your star to come right into you. Resonate with it before you let it go. Again. Oh. And become like a sounding gong that has been chimed. On occasion, I need to do this with children, and I give them this image. You're outside in the dark, in the night. There's a sky full of twinkling stars. And if you ask, a shooting star will come to you. And you're going to bring that shooting star right down to the ground. And if we do it 7 times, each shooting star is a different color. This might be the red one. And when the red shooting star touches the ground, it becomes a ruby. And then I choose topazes and emeralds and all the most beautiful stones. The last one, of course, will be an amethyst. The star becomes a jewel. And one last time. Oh. And rest. And now don't move yet. More than any other exercise, this one leaves profound after effects. So I'd like you to feel that before you move out of this space. Feel how grounded you are. With the ooh, we become so aligned through the body. I feel like I could stand here for an hour. My parallel bones were built to let me be able to stand my truth. And if you feel that, perhaps you can understand how the hope ooh strengthens you right through the body and then strengthens your metabolism. So before you conclude your hope ooh exercise, take a moment to stand. Thank you. In a moment, we'll take a few minutes to talk about our next eurythmy series that we're going to do and have questions. But I would like to complete our movement session by doing the love A and the ah reverence 5 times each. So we will have touched each of these 3 wonderful exercises. All right. Think of all that we do to warm the etheric, the rhythmic system. When we do the love A, imagine we've done contraction, expansion, these R's, also R with the feet. You're breathing, very different energy than the hope ooh. And now spread your arms out into the widths of the world. We'll spread them this way. Lovingly connect with the world and bring the world into your heart, and then loving boundaries. Again, love the world, generously open your heart and come into your boundaries. A. Once again, you notice how these soul exercises are built on polarities. Love, extend, gratitude for the world, connection, and then A. This manifests what our heart does. It opens and retreats, open retreats. This is manifest what we do in our social life. We connect and we individuate. Strengthens your heart so you're not only giving and not only personal, but you're practicing both colors of the heart task. And one more exercise, the ah reverence. Front space and back space. Before you begin, remember what we're doing as we move into the sense world, the front world. We're entering into that world that consumes us all day long, throughout all the hours of our day. And we acquire and access completely different forces of health when we go back into the backspace and touch that angelic realm. And remember that it's always with us. So fold your arms here gently, or just put your one hand upon the other. And now engender the feeling of wonder. A couple steps forward. Ah, remember that the angle is important, not too wide and not too narrow. Ah, wonder. And then as if your angel taps you on the back, on your shoulders, and with the exercise and the movement of H, and now that it's taken you to this is the position for reverence. And so out of reverence, you feel the divine world and imagine it all the way through your back. Hosts of angels manifesting through the stars, all the way down, shining into your lower body, shining into your heels. And when you get to the heels, you release the movement, but you feel so I feel so sparkly. And with positivity and gratitude and reverence. all of that great starry space behind you. Creative beings shining their light down to the earth, get down to the heels, and liven in the backspace, accessing forces of health. Ah. Wonder, joy, gratitude, all the way down to your heels. The eyes are open the entire time with open gaze. Oh. Drop your arm. Oh. Rest. Thank you. Now, to cultivate transitions, we should never just walk out of our eurythmy space abruptly and just fall into our everyday life. Thus, if we fold our arms, we close the space like walking across a threshold. And I'd like to, before we take questions, dear friends, I'd like to tell you about the next webinar series. We have one more left in this series of 5, and then we have another 5-week session that begins 2 weeks from now. The focus on that will be rod exercises. Of course, we'll be doing artistic, health-bringing exercises also, but the rod exercises are really an essential part of our eurythmy training, our eurythmy work. They tune the body, open us up to a sense of space. They bring warmth, they bring focus, concentration, spatial orientation. Those of you who know the rod exercises know that they're fun, playful, and I personally like to integrate 5 minutes of rod exercises into my daily practice all the time or more. So we need copper rods. This is a deluxe copper rod. It was made in Switzerland by Truly, a wonderful old Swiss man with glasses and looks like a toy maker, but he's really a genius in metalwork. And he hammers these rods, copper rods, so that they have a wonderful feeling to them. You won't find that here, or not easily. But I'll show you another one in a second, your option. The length of the rod should be from the center of your collarbone, of your shoulder girdle right here, to the tips of your fingers. So that is generally about 33, 35 inches. And that's what you're going to look for. This is the kind of rod that you should be able to get terrifically easily. And you go to your hardware store and ask them to cut you that length of plumbing pipe. This is hollow. That will give you the right weight. And then these are little rubber tips that you put on the rod. That's not essential, but it helps because sometimes you might drop the rod, and this keeps you from banging or denting your floor. The piece of copper like this should not cost more than $10, possibly 20, but it shouldn't be hard. You just ask them at the service desk to cut you this length of metal. I will also send out a little PDF about that in the mailing today. So I hope you'll sign up. They're really fun, great feeling.
Thank you. And one quick thought for the new friends who have joined us this fourth week in this series, I know you're going to send out an email, but they may not know that. And I would just invite them to watch those earlier videos of the first 3 sessions that you built on today. And then you offer that wonderful, rich PDF that will, yes, enliven this experience.
Exactly, because we went, we built on a lot of lessons. There have been so many experiences in the previous lessons. And for those of you who are new, I warmly invite you to go back and watch them to see what else we've learned.
Yes, that's it for the questions for the moment. And shall we move into the advanced work?
Yes, once again, to remind you, this next session is especially intended for those of you who have already done Eurythmy with me or with others, need less explanation to do a few different exercises. So please, let's continue with that. And if you've had enough for today, I bid you farewell until next week. Thank you. All right. Dear friends, let's return to the short, long that we were working on. And we had this little children's verse, brave and true will I be. We'll work with that first for about 5 minutes, and then I'm going to take another step to another power exercise that we use for language by working with alliteration. So we'll get to that in just a second, just 5 minutes. Let's start with the short, long. You remember we start with our arms at shoulder width, and we have a short pulse that represents a short beat. We have 2 of these, short, and then we lift the arms to the height of the head and go through the body, down, back up again, elastically up. And this was, you remember, short, long. If you're new to this and don't get it, you'll find the recordings in the previous lessons, but I'm not going to build it up too carefully now. We're building on what we've already done. We have short, long. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. And I hope you're with me on this tempo. It's not meant to be laboriously slow. We don't try to deepen ourselves into the feeling. We're really working with the health-bringing aspects of this rhythm. Short, long, short, long. It's a little more invigorating than it would be if it was too short or too slow. Short, long, short, long. Should make you a little joyful. Short, long. One more. Short, long. And as we've worked on, I just remind you, we've got this rhythm of 4 pulses in every segment. These segments, each of them is called a foot, so there are 4 beats in each foot. If you know music, it's really doing a 4/4 measure. 1, 2, 3, 4. Short, long, short, long. So what we call a measure in music, in this becomes what we call a foot. Now with our literal feet, we're going to walk that exercise. We take little, large, little, large, short, long, 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 short, long. And as it becomes easy, then you draw upon the fact that we just spent an hour opening up backspace, opening up front space. How much can you feel as you do this? Short, short, long, short, short, and rest. And now, as we practice, add your arms to that. Short, short, long corresponds to what you do with your feet. Remember, the short steps are short in time and in distance. So the short steps are only a half of a physical foot, like here, short, short. And the long step is a little bit longer than a normal walking step. Short, short, long, 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 short, short, and long. Good. And these rhythms are very, very familiar to us. And we hear it in poetry a lot, especially classical poetry, not modern freeform. And we've been working with the poem Brave and True Will I Be with the Michael energy. Are you ready? Brave and true will I be. Each good deed sets me free. Each kind word makes me strong. I will fight for the right. I will conquer the wrong. There are so many poems we can do with that. I'm beginning to find the circle a bit repetitive. I'm going to do this in a figure 8 form. Do a circle if you like, but I'm changing a little bit. Brave and true will I be. Each good deed sets me free. Each kind word makes me strong. I will fight for the right. I will conquer the wrong. And so on. And then the next step we took, and I gave you latitude to play with this your own self, but we developed forms for the dominant consonant, which occurs always on the long beat at the end of a foot. So we're going to have brave and true, and we'll do the consonant T. Will I be? We'll do the consonant B, and so on. And do that in standing. Brave and true will I be. Each good deed sets me FE free. Each kind, here's a little bit different. This is the sound, which is not so common. Each kind word, an inside out O, makes me strong. An ST makes me strong. I will fight for the right. I will conquer the wrong. And on the wrong, I take the N from the end of the word. All right. We'll do that 2 more times. Brave and true will I be. Each good deed sets me free. Each kind word makes me strong. I will fight for the right. I will conquer the wrong. And again, brave and true will I be. Each good deed sets me free. Each kind word makes me strong. I will fight for the right. I will conquer the wrong. Good. I hope you feel like your circulation has been engaged. Boom. It's a wonderful way to strengthen the circulation, support it. And now I want to talk to you about another aspect of language, which we call alliteration. In the study of languages, rhythms, it really relates to the way that language lives in breath. And interestingly, in history, that belongs more to the Greek beings, those cultures that live in the Mediterranean climates where all is expansive and working with the tides, the waters. But the Norse folk, when they wrote poetry or verse, they worked much more with the alliteration instead, which is poetry built upon strong forces of sound. And so with that, we will have, I'll use a classical verse that we use in the Waldorf schools for this. I'll speak 2 short verses of it. Forge me with fire, a sword for my smiting, right to my foes, and fame for my fighting. Shape me a shield, both forceful and fierce. Stalwart and shapely to fend against fear. And you see a real dominance on the repetitive sounds, particularly the F. Then in the second verse, also the sh and the s. And so in these Norse poems, we understand a different task of being a human on the earth, the task of, oh, I'm here, bringing sound into ourselves. Oh, I'm in my body. Oh, I'm in my body. Oh, it's a power and not a rhythmic. It's up, down, and not breath, blood. And so if I were with you in a public class, and perhaps I will be one day, I would ask you to get ready for this experiencing by imagining yourself a bard on the cold cliffs of the north, and you are dressed in a cloak to protect you against the cold. You have boots on, the wind is blowing furiously, and you fight your way to your castle, or as a bard to the castle you're going to sing in, and we're going to stamp. And the stamping is to, from above, below, get into your body so that the wind doesn't blow you over. Another step. Take it carefully. You might get blown. Again, lift your foot and place. And place. A force that we don't draw upon too much in our times. Totally under the power of the word. Now, the poetry that embodies this force, you can imagine that you're this bard who's going to come and tell a story at the court. He's going to tell about what the warriors were wishing for out on the field. So I'll speak this, and with every alliterated sound, we will stamp. Forge me with fire. The force of the F goes right through you. A sword for my smiting. Right up and then down to my foes, and fame for my fighting. Backwards. Shape me a shield, both forceful and fierce, stalwart and shapely, to fend against fears. Hold yourself right there. My job as a teacher in a class would be to come and kind of just push you a little bit and see, have you actually grounded yourself, or are you just kind of going like that? But having done this last class with so many oohs, you should be able to get right into yourself. So we have just another couple minutes left today. We're going to do the sounds with this. It will be F downwards. Forge me with fire. And S, pour for my smiting. F, right to my foes. And aim for my fighting. Another sh, which we did a moment ago for Judy. Shape me a spear, both forceful and fierce, stalwart, and shapely, to end against fears. How do you feel? Howard? Okay, we'll do that one more time now with the sounds and stamping together. Forge me a fire with a sword for my smiting. Right to my foes and aim for my fighting. Incarnated, shape me as a spear, both forceful and fierce, stalwart and shapely, to fend against fears. Rest. Reflect on how you feel. I feel full of blood, perhaps as these Norse people will feel after fighting against the elements. You go back inside and you feel the after effect of the courage and strength, the full blood flowing through your body. Okay. Thank you. Michelle, any quick questions on that? Thank you. All right, everyone. See you next week. And thank you so much for all your support and the community that we're building. Thank you. Bye-bye.